Okay, welcome everybody. Before I do the welcome, we should do our land acknowledgement. We recognize the Algonquin and Anishinaabeg Nation on whose traditional unceded territory the NAC is located. And I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today, either in person or online. My name is Larry O'Farrell, and on behalf of the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning, I am delighted to be partnering with the National Arts Centre in this stunningly gorgeous venue. I didn't realize we'd be in quite such a magnificent hall here for this event. I look forward to sharing information, participating in the workshops, and joining in some interesting conversations. And this is a bilingual event, so I'm going to make you suffer through my excruciating French as I just welcome you in French. That's okay. Bienvenue tout le monde. Je vous remercie d'être venu aujourd'hui. Je m'appelle Larry O'Farrell. Au nom du réseau canadien pour les arts et l'apprentissage, je suis ravi d'être partenaire avec le Centre national des arts pour cet événement passionnant. J'ai hâte de partager des informations, de participer aux ateliers et de participer à des conversations intéressantes. That's all the French you'll get from me today, but we have to recognize it's a bilingual event and you may speak English or French, whichever you wish at any time, and we'll help. The staff here is way more bilingual than I am and will be helpful to folks who would need any additional help. My job here is fairly straightforward. I'm introducing the morning, afternoon. I get to speak a little bit about the origins and the makeup of the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning. And our story is that we were given birth out of a UNESCO World Conference on Arts Education. Back in 2006, there was a very strong Canadian representation. There were about 20 or more of us from Canada at this conference, which was held in Lisbon. And we came back to Canada and were very inspired by the multi arts aspect of the conference and thought that in Canada somewhere we should have some kind of a project or an organization that would address all of the arts together as a kind of arts service organization. So we put that to the test in the next year by holding an impromptu conference. We got 100 people who represented all walks of arts education life, and we were told very clearly, yes, we need such an organization, so you go away and create it. And we did, and it's been operating now ever since. We've held numerous conferences. I think we're claiming 8 national conferences, but we actually had a number of national symposia before we called them conferences. We have a signature project or asset, which is our map, which you will see. We have a little video to show you, and that will show you what our map is. It's an interactive map of arts and learning across Canada. We have more than 9,000 profiles on that map, and so I hope you're on it. If you're not on it, I hope you'll get on it. It's very easy to do. You go to eduarts.ca. That probably says eduarts on here somewhere. Well, anyway, eduarts.ca is our website. A little bit about the hub format. We call them hubs. I don't know if that's a good word for it. It's a kind of generic term, but what we do is we combine professional development. We're going to have some exciting workshops, mini workshops here, and then with research, and so that gives us roundtable discussions later in the day, and I'll explain later that these roundtable discussions, we will record them, and we have a researcher who scans through them and finds the key points that are raised and makes a report about them. So when you have the conversation, you have a great conversation, just as we've been doing in the corridors already, except that this gets written down and and broadcast. We make sure that it gets out there on our website. All right, I think it would be probably ideal just to show the video now, which is on here. So I will just step aside and then come back after the video.
The Canadian Network for Arts and Learning envisions a world in which the arts and creativity are recognized as integral to the learning process, both at school and throughout life. For more than a decade, the network has strengthened the arts and learning sector in Canada by hosting national conferences and local networking events, launching relevant research studies, and gathering valuable resources and making them accessible for arts practitioners and the public. In 2016, the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning began working on a digital map to show the scope of arts-based learning in Canadian schools and communities. Now featuring almost 10,000 profiles, Canada's Map of Arts and Learning has become an important tool for promoting arts education and increasing the discoverability of arts learning opportunities for the public. In 2019, with the support of the Canada Council for the Arts, the network began working on a strategy to expand our digital capacity and to make participating in the arts more accessible for Canadians. Having already built a solid digital infrastructure, the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning was ideally positioned to support the arts sector through the extraordinary challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Throughout the pandemic, the network continued to strengthen the sector by hosting virtual discussions and webinars, promoting online arts instruction to the public, compiling and sharing information about emergency resources, and celebrating the incredible work being done by arts practitioners despite seemingly insurmountable challenges. As we continue to work towards advocating for arts education and the important role it can play in building creative capacities for the 21st century, we can now confidently move forward with a clear understanding that arts education can thrive in the virtual realm. Join us as we continue to increase access to meaningful arts experiences for all Canadians, cultivating a more creative, innovative, and prosperous Canada.
And enough about us, except I wanted to say that hubs like this, we have held hubs like this clear across the country. We've done this many times, and it's always very exciting and wonderful. So this is no exception. You know, we have extra time at the end of this event. So just looking at Sarah and thinking, I think I'd like everybody to say their name before we go on. I think we can clear the time. So that'd be good. We've got some very exciting people in here. I mean, I've been meeting you and getting all hepped up about what the exciting people we have here. So why don't you just say your name and one thing about yourself, like I'm Larry O'Farrell from the Canadian Network for Arts and Learning. That just sort of about that. Or you could say I'm Larry O'Farrell from Kingston or something like that. That would be great too, but not like a sentence and a sentence and a sentence, just one thing. And then later, you're going to get to do lots of talking when we have our roundtable discussion. So we'll find out much more about you. Why don't we go to this table, just quickly go around.
I'm Larry from Kingston. My name's Emily and I'm facilitating a workshop today. It's really lovely to meet you.
I'm Natasha, I'm with the National Arts Center. I am in a choir concert tomorrow, so I'm going to have to nip out a bit early for my dress rehearsal today. So I'm still an artist in some ways, but also involved in ministry.
Siôned, danse, you'll see me soon. Hi, I'm Jessica Ruano. I'm the Communications Director with Mask, and as per my job, please come to the Awesome Arts Festival next Friday, March 31st, over at Lycon Health Center Public School. It's free. It's a great show, and I'm here with my colleagues Jennifer and Alejandro and Catherine. Hello.
Okay, great. I guess you're allowed to promo as well. I guess that's allowed. What about this table back here?
Lise Maisonneuve, teacher, music teacher in arts, and also Vice President of OYA, Ottawa Eduarts Hub. Linda Albright with the Arts Network for Children and Youth, Nancy, and we're a bit on a hiatus, you know, but we're here. Happy to also start.
Ida, I'm primary teacher in a primary public school in Ottawa.
I'm Jennifer Cayley and I'm a storyteller.
I am Michelle Moser and I'm a parent interested in art because my children love it and I'm fortunate.
Thank you. In the back table?
My name is Alejandro. I'm the English Program Director at MASC, and I came with Jessica, and I'm so glad that she's here because she's always like a communication person.
Go one way or the other.
I'm Natasha. I'm a French and music teacher at an elementary school.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm a musician and I'm on the Master Artist roster and also a teaching artist with the National Arts Center.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm a teacher in the public school board.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm Megan's mother.
As well, I'm an EA and I work at the Catholic School Board and I work in an inclusion program at Immaculata High School. So I'm very excited to be here and learn what you have to offer about the arts.
Okay. The front table here. Started.
Hi, I'm Ita. Nice to meet you all and thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm an art teacher at Lycée Cordell. I'm an art teacher for primary school and secondary school students. I just came to Canada last summer. I was in here before. So yeah, nice to meet you and hopefully I can really, purchase something with you. So thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Irina from French School Lycée Cordell as well, and I'm running up the school department of the School of Business. Very interested and very glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
I'm Renee O'Farrell, and I'm a professional groupie.
Hello, my name is Anna Pfeiffer. I came from Montreal. Yeah, I just came. I am artist director for Patricia Compagnie de Création à Montréal. I am a doctor, PhD student in études en pratique des arts à l'UQAM.
Salut, je suis Christine Belrose, parfois Cricri. J'enseigne le théâtre, j'enseigne l'histoire du théâtre, des arts vivants et la théorie à l'Université d'Ottawa en français. I'm the mentorship coordinator for the Canadian Association for Theatre Research, and I'm a movement performance artist. I dance the wind.
Wow. Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Natasha Harwood. Je travaille pour l'équipe Art Vivant ici au CNA. Et ça fait tellement plaisir de voir vos visages aujourd'hui. So thank you all so much for being here, and I can't wait to hear your beautiful thoughts.
Thank you. And my apologies to the folks who are watching us online. We are also online here, and there are some very exciting folks online, but I have no idea how to do names around the table. But there is a moderator. Okay, so there's a moderator taking care of those folks. So that's really good. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you very much. Well then, enough about Canadian Network for Arts and Learning. How about I introduce Natasha Harwood, who, where did I find Natasha's over there? And Natasha is the Acting Director of Learning and Engagement here at the National Arts Center. And now I get to become the audience member and enjoy what's going to happen. There's some very exciting mini workshops lined up. Okay, Natasha.
Thank you very merci. Je vous souhaite une grande bienvenue au Centre national des arts. Merci pour tout le monde d'être ici aujourd'hui. C'est notre premier événement avec le CNAL, and we are very excited to partner with CNAL for the first time today. And we're excited to be part of this event that is about networking and sharing and learning and research and celebrating all the work that you do every day for our kids and for our communities. I guess my first task is to introduce our first workshop. And so I'm delighted to have with us today one of our colleagues at the National Arts Centre and also a wonderful artist in her own right, Siôned Watkins. Siôned is the Education Associate and Teaching Artist in Dance at the National Arts Centre. She's a choreographer and teacher, a vibrant member of the Canadian dance community. She brings over 20 years of professional dance experience to her movement teachings. After graduating from Les Ateliers de Danse de Montréal, she began dancing for various Montreal dance companies, including 10 years of international touring with Danielle Desnoyers' company, Le Carré des Longs. After studying and training in a myriad of movement methodologies, Siôned was introduced to Gyrokinesis in 2007 during a residency in Banff, and thus began her journey to become a certified and licensed gyrotonic and gyrokinesis instructor. And this is the methodology we're going to work with today from Siôned. Also an active isolated stretching practitioner, Siôned is dedicated to sharing these modalities with professionals, teachers, and students alike. She has taught at École de Danse de Montréal, UQAM, Concordia, Université d'Ottawa, School of Dance, and Ottawa Dance Directive. So, without further ado, I'd love to welcome Siôned to lead our first workshop. Merci.
Bonjour tout le monde. Thank you so much for having me. I really never got used to working with headsets as a dance teacher, so I prefer just to use this, and I'm just going to move it just a little bit over. The tech's going to love me. Joys of working backstage. Okay. Je veux partager avec vous quelques exercices qui est bon pour le système nerveux. So I'm going to share some exercises that are really good for the nervous system that we could all use, every student can use, triple âge, you know, everybody, okay? So, on commence. So you can stay seated or stand up as you like. Best to see, comme vous voulez. Yes, everyone wants to get up. Okay, premièrement, we're gonna do a petit réchauffement. So let les mains ensemble, and we're gonna start to create energy and heat just by rubbing the hands together. So frottez les mains, comme ça. Et ouvre les mains, open the hands, and feel that heat that you've created. The chaleur, that heat is your own energy that you've created. And we want to do something at least 3 times. So, deuxième fois, for it to enter into the body. Prends une grande respiration. Expire par la bouche. Ouvre les mains. And just feel that little energy ball, the heat. Ouvre les mains, open the hands, and just let that heat expand. Feel your hands start to cool off. Et troisième fois, s'il vous plaît. So let's really get some heat. It's friction, this is science, right? But there's energy here. And ouvre, dernière fois. Your own little beautiful boule d'énergie. Then mets les mains sur l'estomac, put these hands on your stomach. We're going to take a grande respiration par le nez, par big nose, and fill your belly. And exhale out the mouth. Deuxième fois. Last time. Excellent. Okay, now we're ready to move a little bit. Shake your hands out. Okay, I call this one temper tantrum, crise colère. So really squeeze your hands tight, tight, tight into little fists and take all of that energy up into the shoulders and have a little temper tantrum. Come on, have a little temper tantrum. And let it go. It's really good for little kids. Get the energy out. Temper tantrum, temper tantrum. And troisième fois. And expire, let it go. Okay, next one's called Hug Star or Câlin Étoile or Starfish Tummy. I love to mettre les mots, put words. It helps me remember. It helps all the participants remember. So first with your hug, oh gosh, we miss hugs, eh? Just hug yourself. Feel the poids, sentir le poids, feel that weight. Okay, so this is the hug, and then we open up into the star. Please watch your partners. Ouvre, étoile, and câlin, hug. And encore, ouvre, and hug. We're doing this one. Oui, toi. And close. And shine, comme une étoile, shine, 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 and hug. Or give away a hug, give away a hug, hug to yourself. Give away, hug to yourself. Okay, prochaine, oiseau or eagle, aigle. Okay, so you know when we cry, we call it Sobby Breath, souffle de pleurs, I think. So it's expire, expire, out the mouth, and then sniff, sniff, par le nez. So we can cry without being upset, but it's good for the nervous system, the hormones. So mettre les bras comme ça, like an eagle, and we expire, expire, and then sniff, sniff, open. Ajoute imagination. Add your imagination. So you're a flying eagle. I want you to feel the feathers on your fingertips. Maybe you're flying off a cliff. Dans le ciel. Excellent, tout le monde. So many beautiful birds. And dernière fois. Good. Okay, now we want to take all of this energy and we want to wake up a little bit. So I call this one fireworks or feu artifice. So imagine toutes les couleurs. What are the colors that you want to see in your fireworks? So just think about that right now, today. What's the color coming out? I'm seeing a lot of that green. Okay, so this is the exercise. So push the fireworks out of your head. Or you could imagine you're a whale and the spout of water is coming up. But I need you to use your imagination with the movement. Okay? 8 fois. I'm not going to talk, let's just do it. And. Yes! Let's make the whole building fireworks! Light it up! Last two! Supernova! Excellent. We really illuminated this space. Dernier exercice. This is to ground us. And of course, we're at the Centre National des Arts, so I love to think about this one, sur la scène arrière, or ferme le rideau, ouvre. Behind the scenes or on stage. Mettre les mains ensemble et regarde. Voir vos mains. Look at your hands. Then open them and look up. Good, that's it. Close. Close the curtains. Open the curtains. Ajoute la respiration. Expire. Inspire. On stage. Well, actually, this is off stage and this is on stage. Shine, shine. And backstage. And the solo of your life, people are throwing roses at you. 2 more. And last one. And up. Rest ici, stay here. Imagine you're holding the sun in your hands. The sun is up there. And as we ouvre les bras, as we open our arms, we become the sun. Grande inspiration, tout ensemble. Expire, become the sun. Okay, so that was my mini little workshop for sharing exercises.
Okay, thank you, Siôned. Merci beaucoup. Gyrokinesis, I don't know if anyone's done that method before, but it's wonderful to, and Siôned, I believe it's particularly accessible dance-based work, can be done seated or standing. And I think, I don't know if people are familiar with the Propeller Dance Company here in Ottawa. Yeah, amazing company. One of their gyrokinesis instructors this week who does work here at the NAC is a wheelchair user and but a dancer. So it's fantastic to have those, those kinds of role models here in Ottawa, and and to ensure that there's programming for all abilities. Okay, and so my my next role here is to introduce everyone to the Arts Alive team and department here at the National Arts Centre. Woo! Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think I'm gonna have to move this mic over to see my laptop. So, all right. Am I moving the slide, Sarah? I am. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, wonderful. Arts Alive Al Vivant. We're a fairly new initiative at the National Arts Centre. There's been learning and engagement programming here for a long time, but it's only in recent years that the departments have come together and worked together collaboratively and presented opportunities and programming together in learning and engagement. We are in the process of drafting a vision and mission, and I'm going to share where we're at with that with you today. So first of all, our draft vision at this point is that Arts Alive believes that children and youth from coast to coast to coast should be able to access and participate in the performing arts in their own schools and communities, and that they should feel a sense of belonging at the National Arts Centre. The performing arts should enable young people to celebrate themselves and their culture, to learn new things, and to access life-affirming experiences such as joy, wonder, fun, creative expression, and collaboration. We're looking at adding something to the effect of Arts Alive believes that the talented artists who create and facilitate exceptional artistic experiences for young people should be able to engage in lifelong learning and develop fruitful cross-cultural networks locally and nationally. And you see there a photo from the production of Hush, présenté par notre département de théâtre français, qui était une matinée scolaire et une présentation familiale au CNA aussi. OK. La mission. Art Vivant rassemble le personnel responsable de la médiation culturelle au CNA et travaille autant au sein des disciplines artistiques qu'avec elles dans l'intérêt des enfants, des jeunes et des familles. Notre mission est de créer et soutenir diverses activités pour les jeunes afin de leur permettre de découvrir les arts de la scène au CNA et dans leur école et leur communauté de tout le pays. De faciliter l'accès aux arts de la scène aux jeunes, particulièrement dans les communautés rurales, éloignées ou en quête d'équité, et de renforcer les capacités des artistes, pédagogues et partenaires communautaires dans le domaine de la médiation culturelle.
Which group is this in the photo?
That's Nunavut Sivinik
Oh, from school, yeah.
That's right, yeah, who's an Inuit post-secondary program here in Ottawa. We partnered with them for many years in various ways, and this is an event they held at the NAC. It was a fashion show and cultural sharing.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, et les 4 piliers de notre programmation. Numéro 1, inspirer les enfants et les jeunes par les arts. 2, enrichir les communautés grâce à des expériences de création. 3, renforcer les capacités de leadership des pédagogues, des artistes et de la jeunesse. Et 4, célébrer la diversité des artistes et des cultures de partout au pays. And then we go on to say about how Arts Alive is in fact a collaboration amongst the artistic disciplines at the NAC, which is quite novel for the NAC, for those of you who know how we work internally. And this photo actually is one I took. This is one of our teaching artists in Alberta who worked with what was the Music Alive program. That national programming is now part of Arts Alive. Walter McDonald Whitebear is a wonderful Cree musician, storyteller, motivational speaker, and this is a picture of him working with kids in Fort McMurray, Alberta. Okay. Programmation locale dans la région Ottawa-Gatineau. Matinée scolaire, ateliers scolaires, partenariats locaux, festival Big Bang, projets et événements spéciaux et spectacles pour les familles, our local programming. And here's a photo of Propeller Dance, a local company with whom we've done various things at the National Arts Centre. I think Siôned is just cut out of that photo.
Why you're there.
She's there. Okay, national programming. So the National Arts Centre does have a national mandate. So this is sort of one area of difference we have with a lot of other, really regionally based arts organizations and arts education organizations. Now, national programming generally doesn't involve things happening at the NAC, or for the most part, the presentation of shows. But we do community partnerships, school programming, community programming, special projects, digital content, resource materials, and teaching artist development work. The top photo is of Pilk Silk, which is a wonderful professional throat singing duo. They're originally from Yellowknife, now I think based in BC. We've worked with those two artists in a variety of capacities, actually, interestingly, in Nunavut and in Newfoundland, so not actually in BC, but they've worked with us on some of our national programming initiatives. The bottom photo is of a camp for Francophone youth. It was a songwriting camp in French avec les groupes, le Centre culturel franco-manitobain et Sans Nom, deux groupes en Manitoba that serve Franco-Manitoban communities. And this was a group of Francophone youth who participated in a songwriting camp, which was a partnership with the National Arts Centre. Another big sort of role of Arts Alive within the National Arts Centre is as the youth and family hub at the NAC, so internally. And so together we oversee the website and the marketing of our programming. We share administration and streamline our processes to work together efficiently. The facilitation across departments of initiatives to support increased access to performing arts for children and youth, which includes perhaps providing financial assistance for various programming, offering free events, working with community partners in various ways to ensure enhancements of their own programming, that kind of thing. Cross-disciplinary collaboration. Arts Alive is also a collective learning space for us internally to speak about our best practices, to speak about conferences we may have been to see what do you do to facilitate student matinees in this way. And so we found that it's a really, really useful space just to talk to each other about what the work we're doing. And it's also the national programming hub for learning and engagement at the NAC. The photo there actually is of a group from Toronto, Auto Rickshaw. It's an Indian fusion musical trio, and they did a wonderful digital concert recording for us for schools, and they also did a couple of digital events on 2 occasions with teachers and then also with students. I have not mastered these slides. They're very slow to change. Okay, Arts Alive resources. We have, the National Arts Centre, we have a history of creating resource materials for programming, for concerts, for things like that, events that are happening at the NAC. The Music Alive program, which as I mentioned has been kind of absorbed into the Arts Alive mandate, created a lot of resource materials that were used particularly in Western Canada on Indigenous arts and classical music, that were used as part of sort of teaching artists visits and presentations to schools and workshops. We have a lot of sort of the archive material, and we're currently engaged in a multi-year project to revitalize and represent our pedagogical resources. So developing templates to maximize usability, findability, and ongoing relevance for both new resources that we hope to create and our significant collection of existing resource materials. So we have a lot of stuff. It's not necessarily presented right now in the most optimal way or the most user-friendly way for teachers. So this is something we're working very hard at to make really, really valuable for you, to bring that content to a pride of place and to showcase it really well on our website. The photo there, I don't know if any of you were at the Reggae Roots concert recently. It was a pops concert with NACO, but also a student matinee. And there's also on our website a fantastic Reggae Roots series of modules of musical performances and French and English language resource materials on reggae music. Jamila is the artist featured in that photo. She's essentially reggae royalty and is based in Halifax. Quelques statistiques d'art vivant. Alors, la saison 21-22, plus de 15 000 élèves et pédagogues ont participé aux activités de formation et de médiation culturelle de CNA partout au Canada au cours de la saison 2022. Une aide financière était offerte pour toutes les activités. Presque 6 000 élèves et pédagogues ont participé à des ateliers virtuels. Et à peu près 1500 élèves et pédagogues ont assisté à des matinées scolaires en personne. Plus que 500 pédagogues et artistes ont participé à des activités de perfectionnement professionnel et à des formations artistiques pré-professionnelles. Et plus de 150 artistes pédagogues ont animé des activités exceptionnelles. 21-22 was a strange year for a lot of us coming out of the pandemic. There was the programming at that time was still mostly digital, so there's a balance here that of a lot of participation in virtual programming, virtual workshops, not so much in student matinees. That's changing. We're kind of reverting back to what things were like before the pandemic to some degree. I think one of our questions today is about the role of digital programming moving forward. We've all learned a lot about digital. I mean, we know nothing can replace the in-person experience of an artist, but what is the valuable role that digital programming can play moving forward? This is something we're kind of still asking ourselves and still figuring out. But these statistics will be very different this coming year in terms of the balance between digital and in-person programming. Oh, whoops. I want to also, the photos here. So the top photo is of two of our wonderful teaching artists from Prince Edward Island, Ryan Drew and Richard Pellissier-Lush. And they, for a few years now, have worked together. They've collaborated on presenting cross-cultural workshops, spending full days in schools, and sharing themes through the lens of both classical music and Indigenous culture. Richard is a Mi'kmaq storyteller, actor, musician. And these two artists actually, very recently, a few weeks ago, won the Educator of the Year Award at the Music PEI Awards for their work with the Music Live program. That's a first for the NAC, that we've been recognized in that way for a learning and engagement initiative at a provincial music award. So that was very exciting for us and really exciting for these artists and a wonderful testament to their work together. The bottom photo shows Jonathan Wade from the NAC Orchestra, and he's leading a virtual workshop with participants from the Saskatchewan Band Association. So that's adult amateurs, teachers, and student musicians, percussionists. Okay, which brings me to Al Vivant, Arts Alive. Bookmark those sites. And our programming is generally the things that people can register for, or events that they can attend, or are featured on the website. And there's also a certain amount of storytelling that we have there about some of the national initiatives. A lot of the things that we do nationally aren't events that we're inviting people to from Ottawa, or really, but we're trying to share the partnerships we have and the work we're doing in various parts of the country in different ways, and hope that you'll check it out and see what some of that work is. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Next, je suis ravie d'introduire notre prochain artiste, le prochain atelier.
Emily, bonjour!
Bonjour!
Emily, bonjour!
Emily, est-ce que tu veux dire quoi? Apparently not.
No? Tu veux une introduction?
Ouais, I guess one.
Okay. Emily est une interprète émergente, musicienne, créatrice de théâtre et artiste visuelle. Elle est une artiste bispirituelle queer d'origine française et Anishinaabeg, créant des œuvres pour honorer ceux qui l'ont précédée et pour élever ceux qui viendront après elle. Elle travaille principalement sur le territoire non cédé de la nation Anishinaabeg.
Ah, c'est ça! Alors, Ottawa, c'est le territoire non cédé des Anishinaabeg. Ça, on le sait, hein? Ben oui. Hi, everyone. I'm gonna do this in 2 languages, so if there's a little bit of repetition, I hope you'll forgive me.
At least 2.
At least two. We'll see what happens. Hi. So I usually share about an hour-long workshop. D'habitude, ça dure environ 1 heure. Mais moi, je vais faire ça en 15 minutes. I'm going to do this in 15 minutes. So we're going to speed run this workshop. It's going to be great. If there's any questions, feel free to just raise your hand and let me know. Si je parle trop vite ou si je bouge trop vite, tu vas juste me faire signe. J'ai très hâte d'être ici aujourd'hui. C'est pour ça que je suis toute palpitante en ce moment. Là, je capote un petit peu. I brought some toys with me. I brought some fun things. And I think that my lovely friend here is going to help me pass these out, right? Because you're so wonderful and you're right there, and I just appreciate it so much. And just make sure every table has at least one thing, and hopefully a couple things. Donc, en ce moment, je vais faire circuler des petites choses. Désolée pour ceux qui nous joignent en ligne. I'm sorry for those who are joining us online. You're going to have to find some office supplies in your own space. Why? Yeah. Just like, I realize it all looks like recycling, and that's because it is. I know it doesn't look super exciting, but I promise. Ooh, little noisemakers here. You still have to have a bigger of it? Oh, yeah, why not? Yeah. We'll throw this here too. These are for you, my friends. So anyone that doesn't have what is a musical instrument today in front of them, you're gonna have to make do with something that you brought with you. Fait que si vous avez des clés, si vous avez un cartable, si vous avez des crayons, if you have anything that makes noise with you today, I invite you to find it, take it out of your bag. Sinon, je vous invite de prendre des objets qui sont sur la table. I invite you to have a look at the little things that I brought today. Donc, moi, mon atelier, this workshop that I share is all about talking about music and sound. So I know that je me suis rendu compte qu'il y a beaucoup de professeurs de musique aujourd'hui, ici. Puis je vous promets, on va créer de la musique, mais ça va être un peu différent que peut-être ce que vous faites dans vos cours. So we're going to create some music today, and it might be a little bit different than what you teach in your music classes. All of that music is valid and beautiful and legit. We're going to make something a little bit different today. Fait que quand moi je partage avec les jeunes, moi j'ai fait cet atelier-là en virtuel, fait que par Zoom, où j'ai aussi fait ça en personnel, en vrai, avec des jeunes, avec la jeunesse. So I've done this workshop online, I've done it in person. Puis vraiment le but, il y a 3 buts pour cet atelier-là. This workshop, I call it Creating a Story Through Sound, créer une histoire avec le son. And there's 3 main goals to it. The first is to listen, is to spend a little bit of time listening. A friend of mine, mon ami Christian Pilon, m'a partagé qu'on a été nés avec 2 oreilles puis une bouche. We were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that's because we were born to listen first and speak after. So this whole workshop is to start with that, is with listening, and to think a little bit about what we hear and what our music is every day. Pour moi, la musique, c'est pas seulement des trames, c'est pas seulement des CD, c'est pas seulement la musique qui est vraiment composée, qui est structurée. For me, music is not just only what you hear in orchestras and in very constructed musical pieces. Pour moi, la musique aussi, c'est tout le son qui nous entoure. For me, music is everything that's around us, and that includes what's outside, that includes the animals, that includes the cars, which I know doesn't sound fun, but it includes all of the sounds that we make and all of the sounds that the land makes. That's all the music that we hear every day. Fait que cet atelier-là, c'est pour encourager les jeunes, pour les rappeler qu'on a une musique qui nous suit un peu partout dans la vie. We always have a music that's following us in our life. We can always take a minute to stop, to listen, and to imagine what's going on around us. Even if we can't see what we can hear, we can imagine a whole story happening with those sounds that surround us. Puis on peut comprendre notre environnement beaucoup plus, puis on peut se comprendre beaucoup plus en prenant un instant d'écouter, puis d'entendre qu'est-ce qui se passe pour les autres créatures qui existent. Fait que c'est vraiment ça le but principal de cet atelier-là. That's really the main goal of this workshop, is to listen and to enjoy listening. But the other part is to play, and is to have fun, and is to remind everybody that we can all be musicians and we can all be artists. On est tous des artistes, on est des musiciens parce qu'on est humain, on respire, on est vivant, puis dans ce cas-là, on peut créer des arts. Faut juste qu'on se sente capable, faut juste qu'on se sente prêt, puis qu'on a les outils pour se sentir bien. We're all artists, we can all create, we just need the tools, and we just need to feel that we can. We just need to open our mind to that. And youth know that already. They know that they're creatives, they know that they can do whatever they want, and they can make noise, and they can jump around, and we're not judging them, and they know that. They know that they're free and safe. So I hope that today, we can do a little bit of that. So, the first part is coming up with a story. L'histoire qu'on va dire. Puis nous, ben, on va le construire ensemble, comme qu'on a seulement quelques minutes. On va construire vraiment un espace. We're going to choose a space where we are, and then we're going to make the story, we're going to tell the story of that space with our instruments that we have with us today. Donc, I'm going to make this story, je vais tout construire l'histoire ensemble à la style popcorn. So I call it popcorn style, because we're all going to, and it's not mine, I'm not going to take credit for that, because we're all going to contribute to the story. So first I'm going to ask anyone in the room, and feel free to shout it out. We're going to pick a place. Where are we? What story we're going to tell? A place. Anywhere. It can be outside, inside, it can be a specific room, it can be a general area. Popcorn style, I believe. Pardon?
Forest.
Forest. Beautiful. We're in the forest. Gorgeous. We're in the forest, and what time of day is it?
Early morning.
Early morning. Oh, I love that. Oh, favorite time of day. C'est beau ça. Ok, fait qu'on est dans la forêt, puis c'est le matin. C'est quoi la température dehors? What's the weather like?
Autumn? Oh.
Autumn. Oh, I love that. Oh, it's autumn. Okay, it's autumn. We're in the forest and it's morning. Oh, that's beautiful. What do we hear? Qu'est-ce qu'on entend?
Birds.
We hear birds. Oh, love that. Okay, birds. What else do we hear?
Rain, water.
Rain, water. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Birds, rain, water, de l'eau, des oiseaux. Quoi d'autre? Qu'est-ce qu'on entend?
Leaves rustling.
Leaves. Gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. And anything else? Are there any other creatures?
Des chevreuils qui mangent.
Oh, des chevreuils, ben oui, some deer walking around and eating. Oh, I love that. Okay, so we've got our story. This is what we're going to create together today. If we had an hour, we'd keep going and we'd keep building it, but we're going to focus in on this space qui se prend ici en ce moment. Fait que, je vous invite de prendre vos instruments. Take your instruments in your hand. You'll notice that everything that I brought today is all recycling. C'est tous les morceaux de recyclage. It's all things that I find at home. I have a little bin at my house that I put fun objects in that make noise. And what I'm going to invite you to do for the next 30 seconds, les prochaines 30 secondes, and those who are at home, it's going to be loud, so please get ready. Please play with the item that you have. Make as much noise as you want. Go, and I'll sign over when it's done. I don't hear noise. I'm going to make noise too. Try exploring what your object can do. How much fun can you have? Are you having fun? Est-ce que vous amusez, là? Ok, mais continuez, puis on glace. Puis on inclut notre corps. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Yeah! Ah, c'est beau. Puis là, now we're going to bring it down quietly, and we're going to go for the little sounds. What can we make with our objects that are little sounds? Little sounds. Oh, that's beautiful. Gorgeous. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Tout le monde qui a un objet qui fait comme un shaker, mettons. Peux-tu faire un exemple? Yeah! Anything that's like a shaker, those little shaky sounds. I'll ask you to lift your hand. I'm looking for words in my brain. Perfect. You all, you're going to be our number one. I'll explain what that means. Numéro un. Number two, anyone who has kind of a thumping, something that makes a thumping sound, a clicking sound. Yeah, beautiful. Thumping, beautiful. You're number two. Number three, anybody who has a bigger noise, the sound of water, if anyone has a water bottle or a I have a water bottle there, you can play with that. Yeah, anyone with a water bottle. Anyone with those kind of heavier sounds, that's going to be number three. And number four, is there anybody in the room, est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un dans la salle qui n'a pas d'objet? No? Perfect, okay, so, excellent. So number 4, we're gonna have our lovely wrestling paper. And we're gonna have you join us. Si t'es confortable, ça va être avec tes mains. So anyone that doesn't have an object, who doesn't feel comfortable, we're gonna be with your objects. So here's what we're gonna do is we're gonna build that space, that sound. We're gonna build our forest and that movement. And I'm gonna orchestrate you with my hands. So essentially, I'll cue, je vais cuer la première. Je vais donner le cue à la deuxième, à la troisième, à la quatrième. I'll cue all of you, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're all gonna keep playing together. So as I say number 2 is gonna join on, you're gonna join into the sound, and we're just gonna keep building that sound. And I'll lower my hand, je vais descendre mes mains pour qu'on finisse tout ensemble. Ça va être ça notre son aujourd'hui. That's gonna be the landscape that we're gonna create, the sound that we're gonna create. Is everyone ready? Tout le monde a leurs mains, tout le monde a leurs instruments. Aha, excellent. Puis je vous encourage, amusez-vous, hein, make some noise, because we don't let ourselves play, but we're all children. We just forget, and we get, caught up in things, but we're allowed to play, we should play, and if we don't play, our kids won't. We gotta show them how to do it, and show them how to share that joy. So, les instruments à l'aide. Numéro 1, je vais commencer. We're gonna start nice and gentle with number 1. Anyone who's got those little shakers. Number 2. As much noise as we can make. Aww. Thank you so much. Je vais juste conclure en disant, I'm just going to finish in saying that this was such a joy, this was such a pleasure. Please feel free to play with your young people that you know and to use this and to think about the sounds that surround us and to consider it all as a music. And in that way, we can all be creators, we can all be artists. On peut tout créer, on peut tout innover, on peut tout inventer ensemble. Chimagwech. Merci beaucoup.
All right, thank you so much, everybody. Apologies, I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Sarah Howard. I didn't plan on speaking at all. No, don't worry. I didn't plan on speaking at all. I'm just sort of the behind-the-scenes person for this event. But I would like to invite Emily, if you'd like to come back up, you're welcome to come back up. Natasha Harwood, the acting director, and Siôned Watkins. We have about 3 minutes for any questions from the crowd before we begin our networking session. Donc, s'il y a des questions à propos du Centre national des arts, au d'art vivant, etc., vous êtes les bienvenus. Y compris en ligne aussi. Je vais consulter le chat en Zoom. I'll be checking the chat in Zoom if anybody online has questions.
You're so thorough.
Microphone?
I can. Just my question for Emily is, that was a great short workshop. What does a longer one with you look like?
Yes, so essentially we travel through a little bit of those steps. We just take a lot more. So we take the time to say hello to everybody. I'm really glad that we had the time to do that today before we even started this conference, was to say hello and introduce ourselves, our names. So a big part is just encouraging the young person to stand up and to say their name and to be proud saying their name, d'être fier de se nommer, de se présenter à leur ami. On se connaît tous. Fait que ça commence un peu comme ça, une petite présentation, un bonjour. Moi, je partage un petit peu de mon parcours. Fait que moi, in my life, in my artistic discipline, I do a lot of sound capture and music. And I like to create music out of unconventional sounds. I'm working on a project right now where I play my hand drum, or the hand drum that I carry, I play it with a bow. So it's just trying to make sounds and create these sounds that do exist in our world and just try to recreate them into life in a different way. And that's what inspired this workshop. So talk a little bit about that, about creating noises that, creating sounds that is music, because sounds repeated is music. So it's kind of stripping away, how we see music traditionally, inspire them to want to be musicians and artists in their own right. Puis là, ensuite, on fait le petit popcorn, le jeu popcorn. So whether it's online or whether it's in person, well, we create the story together by, picking pieces. So we'll create the area, we'll pick the space, and then we'll also decide in that same style that we did together, we'll decide what happens in the story, what characters are there, and how the story ends. And we'll create a story that's about, 5 minutes long, a little short story together. We'll go over the points. And then they'll explore their instruments. Fait qu'habituellement, c'est les enfants qui vont apporter leurs instruments dans la salle. Normally, it's the youth that'll bring their instruments into the room. And so they have stuff that they brought from home, or maybe stuff from their classroom, and stuff that they're familiar with, that they know. And the goal is for them to look at it differently. And so by thinking of sound differently, looking at their objects differently, and then we go into, okay, what sounds can we make work for certain things? Fait qu'une des choses qu'on n'a pas vraiment eu le temps aujourd'hui de faire, mais qu'on a le temps de faire avec les jeunes, c'est de vraiment explorer tous les instruments, tous les petits sons qu'on peut créer, puis ensuite on les assigne. So then we assign them to different roles. So we say, okay, that sound sounds like rain, that sounds like a little deer walking, and that sounds like a bird. And then we orchestrate it. So all the kids, they put themselves into groups, or they all kind of get divided into the groups based on the type of sound that they're making, basé sur le type de son qui est créé. Puis on fait cet orchestre-là. So we either orchestrate it live, or I've done workshops as well online where we pre-recorded the material and I played it back to them, just depending on what the needs were and how many people we had. So thank you so much, I really appreciate the question.
Merci beaucoup à toutes les artistes, à vous deux. Pour Emily, est-ce que vous êtes habituée à faire un intervenant à l'école? J'imaginais vraiment, comme vous êtes une artiste visuelle aussi, j'imaginais vraiment qu'on pourrait faire les poèmes, les visuels, la musique ensemble. Donc, on va voir ça si on peut faire ça. Les histoires modèles, les histoires, et aussi, voilà, votre présentation, ça beaucoup sens pour les petits enfants et les grands, les plus grands. Et pour Shannon, est-ce que je pourrais utiliser votre technique avec mes élèves? Ça, en fait, le problème avec tous les art teachers, peut-être, on est toujours dans le programme, dans les routines. On a même oublié qu'on doit nous-mêmes déstresser. Et votre technique, là, c'est juste incroyable, efficace. Donc, merci beaucoup à vous deux.
Even better, bring her into your classroom.
Yeah, right. We will, right? Yeah.
Give us a shout. Send us an email.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Mais moi, j'aimerais savoir, est-ce que vous voyez les gens évoluer à leurs émotions à travers des yeux quand vous... Parce que tout le monde arrive un peu, et je m'en vais là, mais à travers l'atelier, peut-être qu'il y a comme une respiration, une ouverture d'esprit, peut-être des émotions.
Oui, il y a beaucoup. En fait, le mouvement, la danse, c'est sûr. Yeah, I usually, and I love to see the shy one that isn't moving at the end be the leader. That's my goal.
I completely agree. I feel like with any activity that engages them, the youth physically, I think with that, with breathing and with just kind of coming into your body, I think you automatically see them kind of sink their feet in and realize, okay, I can do this, and on est capable, puis c'est le fun en plus, let's say. So you kind of see them sink in, and I saw you guys sink in too, and you guys kind of let yourself have fun, and that I think is a gift today as well.
Merci beaucoup. Donc, oui, merci encore, Emily, Natasha, Siôned, thank you very much. Et ne vous inquiétez pas, don't worry, we're just going to go to the networking portion of our time together today, so you'll still have chances to ask questions if you would like. So I invite you, we've also got a wonderful poster presenter, Mask, another really wonderful arts and learning presenter in town, and so they'll be outside in this little area. So we invite you to go and have a snack, have a tea, a coffee, un thé, un café, manger quelque chose et jaser entre vous. Et puis on va se voir, on est un peu en retard, donc on va se voir ici à moins quart, donc à 11h45. So we'll join back here together at 11:45 for our roundtable discussions. Merci.
Merci.